If you want to learn art or anything actually, and you don't accept this, I guarantee you will fail. I'm Marcus, here's some of my paintings, and I went from this to this in 1 year. So let's get into it. If you don't make this shift and accept this, you're probably going to do one of two things. One, you'll spend loads of time planning, create this master plan, only to procrastinate forever and never actually start. Or two, you'll start, you'll get all excited, you'll dive right into it, realize it's so much harder than you thought, and quit very quickly. So if you've ever had this feeling of like, if I'd only just stuck with that, I'd be so much further along now, this video is for you, and I wish someone told me this a lot sooner. So I think a great way to explain this is to start with a little story. So we've got two people and they both want to learn ice fishing. Our first person, Bob, has the idea they want to learn ice fishing and goes and starts doing a whole bunch of research. I wonder if this sounds familiar. They start to look at all the best ways to get bait and what the right type of bait to use is. They research into what the best rods are. They research onto what the best times of day to go fishing are and how to cut holes in the ice and all this different kind of stuff. They think of every problem that could possibly come up along the way, and they start to build this master plan, this grand plan of how it will all go smoothly. And they're very excited about this, and they go off to the lake to begin their first day of ice fishing after months of planning. When Bob shows up, he finds that actually the ice lake where he's going to fish has been completely cleared out. There's nothing left. And on top of that, there's this really thriving seafood restaurant business there. Why? This brings us to our second person, Daisy. And Daisy took a really different approach because Daisy's awesome. So as soon as Daisy got the idea to do ice fishing, she grabbed a line, grabbed a hook, went on the ice, cut a hole, and started fishing. And quickly she ran into her first problem. She was getting 0 bites. So she started playing with different types of bait, and through practice and trial and error, she found a type of bait that worked. And now she was starting to get some nibbles, but there was a second problem. She couldn't reel the fish in with the line and the hook. It was just too difficult. So she went and she got a rod. Now she could reel the fish in and actually catch some stuff, which was great. And as she kept on doing this, she noticed some more things. She noticed that the time of day had an impact on how many fish she would catch. So she started looking at that and optimizing around the best time of day to go fishing. Soon she got to the point where she was catching so many fish that she actually couldn't eat them all. So she started selling the excess to a local restaurant. And on she went, encountering a problem and solving it bit by bit, step by step, until eventually she'd gone and actually built her own thriving seafood restaurant and cleared out the lake. So what's the difference between these two? Well, the easy lesson to pull from this is to have a bias towards action, to not get stuck in planning mode and just go for it and learn as you go. And that's true, having a bias towards action is great. But for me, the true lesson is actually a little deeper, because even if you start something, it doesn't mean you're going to stick with it. Think of all the times you've tried something only to quit very quickly. If you're anything like me, there's been loads of it. So why did Daisy stick with it? Well, Daisy understood and accepted something essential. She knew that when she started, she was going to suck. And if you can truly understand this, it changes the game for you. You see, when we're trying to learn something or do something, usually we're saying, I want that outcome. So it may be, I want to be able to draw well, or whatever your goal may be. So we get into it, usually with a lot of enthusiasm, and we quickly realize as we start that we're actually a lot worse than we thought, and it's a lot more difficult than we thought it would be. And if you've started and it's not gone that way, that's great. But I guarantee you a moment is coming when you realize this is really, really difficult and you're unfortunately really, really bad at it. Our drawings look terrible, our enthusiasm fades quickly, and we think, maybe I'm just not talented enough, or whatever the excuse may be, and we quietly quit. The reason this happens is because your mindset around this is wrong. You're focused too much on the outcome and you're not focused on the process and falling in love with that. Most importantly, you need to be able and accept that you're going to do the process badly. A friend of mine once summed this up to me beautifully by saying, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. And there is so much wisdom boiled down into this pithy little sentence. Because this statement shows an understanding of a couple of key things. One, an understanding that when you start something, you are going to be bad at it and you need to accept that. Two, knowing that not only is this okay, but it's actually worth doing. It's worth being bad at it because the only way to get good is to do it badly, find the problems, improve on those areas, and try again. It seems counterintuitive, but getting good at something is actually not a process of doing things right. It's a process of doing it badly, getting it wrong, and then correcting your mistakes over time. Then, one day, as you continue to do this and build on top of your different mistakes and find solutions, you turn around and realize that your current form of doing it badly is actually pretty damn good. So when you're learning something and you're thinking this sucks, everything I'm doing is wrong, know that this is good. You're doing it badly and figuring out where to improve. This is the mindset shift. When you're in those moments, you need to stop and accept where you are and that you're not good at it yet. Look for ways to improve and practice them. Each time you do this, you should celebrate the fact that you are improving and this is just part of the path. You're being a daisy, not a bob. Even take this video. I had a bunch of problems recording this because I was live streaming on TikTok and recording the painting for YouTube at the same time. There was loads of glare on the YouTube camera version, and I had to take the video from the TikTok stream and place over the YouTube video, which is why it looks so janky. Now I could have been like, oh, this video has loads of glare, I'll have to fix this on the next one or delay the video, but no, I'm doing it badly, I'm putting it out there and I'll fix the glare on the next recording. If I had sat and planned this video out and made the perfect plan, or if I thought that I couldn't improve on the next one, you guys would not be watching this video right now. So how can you apply this? You need to set yourself a challenge, a do it badly challenge. Anything you want to learn, whether it's art or any goals you have, make a decision to commit. Commit to creating something every day, every week, whatever it may be, but commit to creating something and give yourself permission to do it badly. This is something I'm doing at the moment where I create 50 paintings in 2025 and also make some content around them to put out there. It doesn't matter how good or bad the paintings and the videos are now, I know that at the end of the year they're going to be a hell of a lot better than they are now. This painting is the second in that challenge, by the way. If you want to learn more about it, why I'm doing it, head to the link in the description if you want to follow along. Now this concept is really simple, but I'm telling you, every time I've done this in my life, every time I've accepted that I'm going to suck at this for a while, the results over time have always blown me away. If you showed me the art that I create now to that day one version of me, I would literally have thought it was physically impossible for me to create that. I would have said there's no way in hell that is literally superhuman compared to where I am now. And that's not to say I'm some great artist or anything, it's just to say the progress that I've made is beyond what I even thought possible. Why? Because I did it badly. On the flip side, whenever I've forgotten this lesson and expected the results to come quickly, not being willing to do it badly, I've quickly quit and found myself asking the question, why didn't I just stick with that many months later? And this isn't something that I just do. I've had so many conversations with people over the years and they've been talking about doing the same thing, yet they still haven't started. They've got some idea, some project, some goal, and they haven't even started yet. Why? Because they're waiting to be able to do it right. They don't understand that they need to do it badly. They aren't willing to suck because they think being bad is the opposite of improving rather than an essential part of it. They haven't accepted this truth, so they wait until they feel they're in a position to be able to get it right first time. But you can't get it right first time because to get it right, you have to first do it wrong. So they remain stuck. And this can go on for years. I mean, I literally saw a YouTube comment yesterday where someone was saying they've been procrastinating on starting a channel for 10 years. Seriously? Can we all just agree that that is insane? If you want to do something for 10 years and not even try it once, that's nuts. Imagine wanting to exercise for 10 years and you've never even done a single push-up. It absolutely blows my mind. But also I know how easy it is for this to happen. So before that day one drawing, there was 5 years of me every 2 to 3 months sitting down, watching an art tutorial, quickly realizing it was hard, quitting, and then 2 to 3 months later, trying again. for 5 long years, until eventually I saw someone showing their day one drawing and then their drawing a few years later, and I was absolutely floored by the progress that they'd made, and that was the thing that finally made me stick with it. At a fundamental level, I feel like understanding this, that you're going to be bad at something and that is just a part of the process, really is the fundamental difference between being able to do the things that you want to do and not. The people who I know who understand this, they are doing what they want to do or are at least well on their way. Being willing to be bad at something is a form of freedom that I can't really put into words. Knowing that I can get through the early pains and learn something opens the door to so many more opportunities and paths. If I want to learn something, I can, and that's amazing. So whatever you want to do, whatever you want to create and put into the world, stop trying to do it perfectly, stop planning, start doing it badly.